Welcome to Radio Melee. I'm your host, Toph Barbecue, joined by PPMD and N0ne.
Hey, what's going on, gamers? And how you doing today, N0ne?
Pretty good. And you guys?
Doing all right. We're glad to be here, and we're glad you're here.
I'm glad to be present by you. Like, I'm glad to be in the presence of you two. You know what I mean? The pleasure's all mine.
Truly a champions cast here.
I was watching you guys' episode yesterday on the old GG Melee channel with the Newlywed game. It was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. We were actually we were talking before. Actually, we went live, N0ne, and we thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of continue that conversation forward a little bit here. Toph said, "Man, N0ne's been playing. He was thinking about how you've been around for a little while and all this stuff based on the episode." And he said, "Oh, I'm gonna go check out N0ne's YouTube, as everyone watching should right now."
That's right.
And he went back and he was looking at your early videos, and he saw that you had some videos dating back to 2008. He was saying, or something around there. And we were kind of curious about your start. Because I don't think people knew of the N0ne, the Titan of the game we have before us now for a while, regrettably. And so we want to kind of learn about some of the potentially humble beginnings of this man. And right before we get into the answer for that, I just want everyone to know, while we're talking, if you guys have questions about this or about something for N0ne or about the game overall, something you're really curious about, please use !Radio Melee, jump into the Discord, submit your questions, and we'll do our best to bring you in. And it should be a pretty straightforward process. You'll see what everyone's doing in there. But yeah, N0ne, you can if you want to talk a little bit about how things got started for you and then how it all came together, I'm sure we'd all be glad to hear it.
Yeah. So you guys want to know the backstory?
Please.
I mean, it was a kind of long story. I was back home in Nicaragua still, had no plans of moving back to Canada. I was going through a phase. You're starting to puberty. You're going to parties and stuff. It was wild. It was wild. I sold I remember all my consoles for I don't even know. It was you gotta bear in mind, there's a third world country, right? Like, things are very, very different over there.
Yeah.
I mean, it came to the point where I sold everything. I got rid of Melee. I just wanted to go out partying. Eventually, I started driving while partying. That was quite the time.
Wait. Don't just skip over that. Driving? What do you mean driving?
So, you were the party bus.
Yeah.
Oh, snap!
Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
You're young and dumb.
Oh, snap!
That's just the way life is.
Okay.
Thankfully, I'm still here. No one got hurt.
Right.
I started to crash a lot. You start to get to a point where I just you're a kid. You're young. You think you're the king of the world. You think no one can touch you.
Yeah.
And I started to be dumb and race and crash a lot. I crashed a lot. My car would go into the body shop, and then a week later I was crashing again.
Wow.
It was pretty intense.
Do you feel like you always kind of wanted that adrenaline rush? Do you think you needed why do you think was that typical for everyone at your school or your age or something, where you were always trying to do something hype, or was that something that was more you and that still set you apart from people, do you think?
Well, I mean, it's I don't agree with that form of thinking anymore, but you got to remember, this is a third world country we're talking about, right? Culture over there is very different. Over there, just oh, you have the biggest balls, you're so sick, you're so this, you're so that.
Yeah.
And, I was growing in that culture, so of course it gets here, it gets to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was mostly part of it. Yeah.
Okay, so it was the cultural thing. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just curious kind of about what that how that kind of came about, because there are people that do that here, but it's not it's not nearly as
here there's laws. Here you cannot get away with that. And I don't recommend it. I was young and dumb. I do not condone that, but that's what life's all about, it teaches you to be smarter, wiser, stronger,
Yeah, you learn from experience.
And thankfully, like I said, I was crashing a lot. I would only crash into I went to a couple of ditches, crash into a wall, and I never got hurt, never hurt anyone else, which is,
That's good.
very, very important. And
Yeah.
mostly it was just damage to the car and all that, and then yeah, pretty much one day in one of those crashes, I was on the way to the body shop and I found one of my friends I used to play Melee with back when before I sold my consoles, right? And he's like, yo, we should get together, we should play. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Like, Melee's really sick. All the flashback, all the memories start getting back to you, how great of a game it is. Because I was playing it. I mean, I remember I got a cube with Melee for like, I don't even remember. It was like almost $500 or something. Because it was hard to get a hold of Melee of a cube back in Nicaragua.
So that was the first time you got it, or the second time?
No, the first time. Like, we're speaking back then, like
Yeah,
when it was
yeah.
fresh and new.
Yeah.
And,
So you talked to your friend, and then you had to get another one.
No, there were these places. They call them. I mean, in Spanish, it's an Intenderia. It's basically a spot where you just go, you pay an hour, and then you can play any. They have like all the different kinds of consoles.
It's like a gaming cafe
or whatever.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, like a gaming cafe.
Cool.
So yeah, we got there. We played one day, and I was like, "Wow, this game is really dope. How did I forget about this?" I looked up videos online. I saw the 3-part, the 3-part tutorial video from Wack.
Oh, yeah, the
Yep.
advanced how to play.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's how to play.
That video is amazing. I still
It is.
recommend people to see it to this day.
for sure.
It's a good video.
Yeah. And yeah, and then we had PSPs back then. So I would put all those videos on my PSP. I would bring them over to them. They would see everything, and then we kind of got good together. From there, I kind of stood out. I started traveling to different cities, and then eventually even to Honduras and Costa Rica, which are my neighbor countries. And then yeah, it kind of was like that for a while. I started to go to the capital more, which that's where like the higher level of Melee was. And then one thing led to another. I came to visit twice, and now here I am.
You kind of
When
got
was-
hooked on the Melee when you visited Canada, you're saying?
For sure, yeah. That's back in 2010. I met like all the Canadians that were in the strong Canadians that were in the scene. It was Ryan Ford, Kirby Kaze, IB, Leon X. The whole Canadian scene. Rain X.
Rain X. Yep.
That was definitely all of them, and not missing anyone.
Wait, who am I
How did
missing?
you like?
Who am I missing? Kirby Kaze. I said Kirby Kaze.
There was another one that started with a K.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, he's not.
That's extra.
Ontario, though. He's not Ontario, right? That's why he left him out. He left him out because he's not from Toronto.
Yeah, no, he wasn't like
He's from
locals
French
in
Canada. He's not local.
You're scaring me. I thought I messed up.
No, you're good, man.
Gonna be dirty.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I think Canada. I think Canada loves this man. I don't think there's a concern about that. But yeah,
When did Canada fit into your story? Like, the story. By the way, so I just want to clarify here because you said you were starting to crash a lot, and you said that I thought you meant like from the party perspective, like I was getting burned out. I was crashing a lot, like I felt I'd wake up in the morning, whatever, blah blah blah, and then I realized you literally meant crash like a car.
Yeah,
like you could. Oh,
car accidents.
So when you were in that video, one of my favorite pieces of one of my favorite like short skits from the Smash community in general, by the way, the video for the trailer for the script. Remember when they did? Okay, first of all, you were so good at that video.
Thanks.
Second of all, so you're actually just a fucking you're a driver. You got it like that.
So yeah, I guess so. Sounds kind of corny, but I mean, it'd be a lie if I said I wasn't.
It's not corny. It's so cool.
Sometimes you just got to be straight up.
It's not corny.
I mean, the whole aspect of playing Falcon, which is because I get it in my chat all the time. The whole aspect of me playing a race car driver is the corny part,
Yeah.
So wait, is that why you picked Falcon?
No, that was a different process. This is another story. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
sure.
It's ironic that it ended up being this way,
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair, man. Oh, that is cool, man.
It's crazy.
I want to ask so much about that. Oh man, that is hype, man. I love this man. But I know at this point we got to follow the program. Unless there's something else you want to really follow up on here, Toph, I'm ready to bring someone in.
Hey, we could chat about it later, man. We could, especially if people have questions. Like, we're just getting to the point of the program again where we're gonna be dialing in some of you at home. So !Radio Melee in either my chat or PP's chat. You're gonna be able to join the Discord and you can just ask your questions. Just do what everyone else is doing. There's a channel where you can basically just tag Wormlax, our man, submit topics here, and we're gonna be dialing you in to ask your questions live on air. So make sure you guys are doing that. We already got some good questions in our chat here, I see. And I think we are ready to bring our first caller in. So anything you guys want to chat about? Hello.
Yo, what up? It's
Oh,
hello.
what's up, man? What's
Hey,
up?
all of our editors.
It's the guy that edits for all of us. But go ahead and tell everyone what's your name and where are you calling in from?
Hi, my name is Andres, but I'm Adineri. I'm from Mexico. And yeah, and you guys know me.
We do know you. We do. We're very blessed to work with you. You've done great things for our YouTube. Shout out to you. What's your question for us today, Adineri?
Okay, the question is, I don't know if it's written correctly, but is which character has the most chances to climb up on the tier list? For example, Axe pushed Pikachu to, I don't know, 9th, 8th, I don't know. And also Amsa pushing Yoshi to the top. Well, not to the top, but mid.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you want to see what you want to say which character can climb up the farthest? You think?
Yeah, like if someone really good starts playing with, I don't know, Mewtwo, maybe in 5 years he's ranked I don't know, 9th.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
fair.
I have my answer. I have two answers.
All right. Well,
I have the answer you're looking for, and I have the answer that I want to give.
Well, Toph is ready, man. What is it, Toph? Let's hear
Which
it.
order do you want it in? Which order do you want it in? I'm just gonna say it real quick, and you guys can discuss.
The one that you think.
Okay. I think the answer you're looking for, to me, out of like the low tiers and stuff, the character that I think could grow. I was looking at the tier list the other day. I think a character that definitely could grow is like probably Mewtwo. I mean, I think that Mewtwo is a character that, like, he's got some good wins. Like, objectively speaking, like Taj's Mewtwo beat Cobalt in tournament. Leffen's Mewtwo beat Professor Pro in tournament. Like, the character has beaten some like really good players. Zoma beat Cactuar when Cactuar went to Japan with Mewtwo in a set in like recently too, like in 2019. I think the character's really hard, and I think that for whatever reason, everyone who's ever played Mewtwo just has way better other characters, and they've never decided to focus on him. I don't think Mewtwo could raise that much, but I think if you look at Mewtwo's spot in the tier list right now, I think the character that's directly below Mewtwo is like Ness or something. And I'm kind of like, dude, like the difference between like Mewtwo and it might not be Ness, but it's like
I think Ness is pretty much impossible.
Yeah. So that's my but the other answer was actually, I think people forgot about Samus. I was looking at the tier list. I think Samus used to be, people thought the character was pretty good. And I think because Samus has had basically no top level rep recently, dude, people are putting Samus below Yoshi and Pikachu now. I think Samus is actually amazing. Like Plup and Duck were top 8ing like every tournament for a while with Samus. And I still think if I run with Samus, I'm way more scared of your average Samus than your average Yoshi or Pikachu. And I think people are sleeping on that character just because all the Samus is swapped off. Anyway, here's what you guys think.
All right, fair enough. Those are good answers. N0ne, what are you thinking, man?
I think my answer would probably be those characters that are like on the verge of being high tier. Those are those characters that are like right on the border. We're talking Samus, of course. I always think of Samus. I mean, I don't even know the tier list, to be honest, but it would be like Samus, Dr. Mario, Ganon.
It depends on where you're putting all of them. I think a lot of people put Yoshi and Pikachu there.
Yoshi and Pikachu. But I will say this, I don't think they can do it solo maining. I think you have to dual main to use those characters, because it's just like some counter picks are just brutal, you know what I mean?
There are some tough ones.
And there's something that people don't think about. It's not only the fact that you get counter picked, it's the fact of the damage from the counter pick. You lose momentum sometimes, and that really affects the outcome of a set. Think about that. Sometimes you have to choose a different character, just so that you can just move throughout the counter pick. You know what I mean? It's just a really rough counter pick, and you want to do as less damage to the mental game as possible.
Right. And as someone that played Ganon sometimes, I'm sure that you understand kind of how that can work.
Yeah, so that would be my answer.
What do you think of Ganon, Ed? Do you think Ganon's like, because you are absolutely, I think, the best Ganon at this point. Do you think Ganon's underrated or overrated?
I mean, people are putting Ganon for. I think Ganon was, where was he on the newest one, Toph? Wasn't he like towards the bottom of mid?
I think he was below Luigi. It was like Luigi, then Dr. Mario, then I think Ganon.
So Ganon would have been like middle of mid tier, maybe a little bit lower in mid tier. So what you said, Ganon being upper mid tier, would actually make him, in your opinion, better than what people often think of him.
Yeah. I'm not really much for tier lists, but
Sure.
I mean, when people say Ganon sucks, I'm like, sick. I like when people think that my character sucks. You know what I mean? It brings out the player in you. It's like it makes you be able to speak much more for yourself if you're able to do well with a character like that. But of course he's limited. In tournament, I guess it's fair to say I don't really need to go Ganon because I have like a faster Ganon when Falcon.
Yeah.
But the same thing applies. I don't think you can solo main with Ganon. It's just like it's too tough. It's just way too tough, and you're gonna get counterpicked hard, and it's gonna hurt. So for sure, at the very least, dual maining.
Hey, what do you think is the best character? The best character that you can't solo main?
That you can't?
Cannot, exactly. Because I think we've seen you can solo main Pikachu. You can solo main Yoshi. You can solo main Samus.
It would be like Doc Ganon, probably.
Doc Ganon.
Luigi. That's what I think.
That's fair. I guess I'll give a little bit of an answer to this real quick. I mean, my mind when I think about this, I tend to go straight to the Mario Brothers. I mean, I see Mario I think he was pretty much, I think, bottom of mid tier on the thing that came out, if I remember correctly. And I couldn't believe it. I've seen Mango have some incredible Mario performances. I've seen N0ne do some great stuff too. So it is surprising to me to put Mario that far. So I think he can climb up quite a bit. And then, I was thinking, people might be talking, like, depending on how the Luigis were doing when they were starting to rise up a few years ago. I thought people would be talking about Luigi almost kind of like they're talking about like Pikachu and Yoshi now, or maybe putting Luigi at the top of all that. If possible, that might be where he can go. So him sitting around, like maybe around Doc, above or below him. I mean, I think he's got some space to move too. And I think moving up each of those mid-tier spots counts a lot.
It does.
Whereas if you move up like one or two low-tier spots, I'm not sure if it's the same thing, because those characters might not be getting optimized as much. That's the only reason. Depending on how you say climbing up and what it means to climb up and all that stuff. I mean, you could look at it that way if you wanted to.
Yeah, I just thought of something.
What'd you think of?
You know what character's saucy is saucy. Am I allowed to say? I'm allowed to cuss on this, right? I'm allowed to say saucy as fuck.
I probably, yeah.
You can bleep me, Q, if you wanna.
Yeah, get him, Q.
If you take an issue. Anyway, you know what character's saucy as fuck. And I just realized I'm doing a pun here. I did not have that intention, but Link. Dude, Link is actually so sick. And I don't think we've ever had, like, okay, there have been some sick Links out there who have some real good tournament wins, like 6 from EU, Sauce from Canada.
Aklo's doing some stuff right now.
Yeah, Aklo. Well, Aklo, I mean, I think the only thing with Aklo, like, Aklo's Link would have an amazing resume, I think, for him. It's just that he usually goes Fox,
Yeah.
And he usually only plays Link, like, for a game and a set. But, like, dude, Sauce, like, 6, like, beat Ice, I think, at one point. Like, dude, the only thing about the Link players is I feel like they never travel. And I think that if the really good Link players actually went to, like, dude, I lost a Sauce in tournament at one of the Gommels, like, in pools, and I was just like, dude, this guy's amazing. And I mean, he had a last stock. I think he lost these sets, but it was like last stock, last set with Kalamazoo, last stock, last set with Prince Abu. And I remember last talk last hit with IB. He forced IB off. He like destroyed IB's Marth, and IB barely clutched the set with Falco. Like, I remember watching that, like, oh my God, Sauce is gonna do it. He's gonna beat IB. And this is when IB was like top 5 in Canada. And I don't think I don't think the character's really been optimized at all, but like I just kind of feel like from Link's like frame data, he hits pretty hard. Like, he can actually combo you pretty well, especially if he's like reacting well. Like, it's hard because you have a slower grab than most characters. When I say frame data, I mean, sorry, I should specify here. His frame data is abysmal when he's in his shield, when he's in disadvantage. But when he's pressuring you with like jabs and down tilts and stuff, his IASA frames are actually pretty good. So I think that character could actually get it done. I wish there was a Link player that was out there that was doing it, but I mean, time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
Characters actually. Link is actually such a sick character, dude.
He's so sick, but he's so hard to use.
He's hard to use. Yeah, so he's hard to use. You can like he's super non-optimized, I think.
He's like heavier than Ganon. He feels heavier than Ganon.
He's got all that shit on him. He's got the
Uh,
hook shot in his pockets. He's got like 50 arrows.
Yeah.
Upgrade. He's got
Shield.
bombs.
Unlimited bombs.
Unlimited bombs, which
Yeah.
in theory is infinite weight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. Well, Adineri, do you think that answers your question effectively?
That does
Never
answer
answer.
my question effectively.
For sure.
I was hoping to hear some DK, you know.
DK,
I think
DK
DK
as
is
well.
he can
Yeah,
do some
DK
stuff.
as
I
well.
think he's already got like I think an okay position too. But yeah, he could go a little farther too, for sure.
There's a guy in my city, in my region, that actually we were in a tournament. We invited some guy from the center of Mexico. He's one of the best. It's Lenguitas. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I haven't.
And this guy from my region almost took like 2 games with DK. Yeah, against a Fox, which I understand because it's easier to combo Fox. But
Yeah,
that
so hard
answered
to
my
get the
question.
grab. But yeah, man.
true.
Thank you so much for calling in, and looking forward to your videos coming out, man. I'm sure they're gonna be
Thanks,
great.
man. Thank you, everyone.
all the channels that you
Thanks, man.
produce for us. Thank you, Adineri. Good to talk to you,
Bye.
my dude. Bye.
Later.
Yeah, for people who don't know, for the uninitiated, Adineri, coincidentally or not, edits for all 3 of us. He is all of our YouTube editor.
That was destiny. That had to be destiny.
Yeah.
Has to be Destiny. Has to be.
Maybe-
It wasn't like, and he did it. He was editing for us before we were signed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yes, sir. All right, well,
dope. I think we're about ready to bring in our next caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello there. My name is ILikeTurtles. I'm from France.
Hello, ILikeTurtles.
What's up, Turtles? Hey,
I've
someone
seen
from
you in
my
my Twitch chat a fair bit.
yeah, he's from my community. He hangs around chats. Hope you're doing good, man. And what's your question for us today?
Okay, so here it is. How are you guys so good at commentating and analyzing melee sets in the same time? It feels like you're able to get into players' head and figure out their intentions and describe them perfectly.
Right. So your question, just to make sure I understand it, is how are you able to analyze and commentate so well at the same time while watching something live? Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I can take this away unless either one of you is excited for it. Yeah, sure. So I think part of my skill with it is I'm able to talk quickly, and I just have always liked talking, and so I have a bit of an advantage perhaps over some people when it comes to that. But I think any high level player, any analyst, you can work on it long enough, you can do it. You just need to have a decent enough understanding of the game where like things are happening and you have this very detailed, very refined, very organized framework that everything is just kind of falling into place on. And so you can, if you understand it, and especially if you understand it well, you can condense the information into smaller parts. You can then put that out to people. Certainly something I've been challenged for sometimes is to try and make it so that even when it's condensed, it's still something that people can understand. So sometimes I have to think about that. But, I think, that becomes a communication skill more than an understanding skill. As far as understanding, anyone on this podcast with me right now or a bunch of other high level players and everything like that, they can all do it because they just have that knowledge.
No, what do you think about that?
I think it's that's kind of tricky because I think we've just been doing this for so long that it just comes a bit natural after so much time of doing it, right? And then it's all about how you digest information. Like me personally, I do PvP a lot. I don't really do matchups. So the moment I see like I don't know, 5-10 seconds of a player, okay, I like separate him. In my mind, this happens, of course. I separate him into like 3 different categories of players. And then in those categories, I like digest that even further. And so I kind of like, because this all happens mentally, I don't know if this makes sense, but I can like auto home on which category he is. And then the moment I'm locked in, I can just open up and speak what I'm trying to speak, if that makes sense.
What am I?
Does that make sense? I don't know.
What category am I? Am I a jumper?
No, you're actually very grounded.
Okay.
Which is good. In any fighting game, you want to be grounded, right?
That was a test. Wait, what are the 3 categories?
I mean, the categories don't have names per se. It's just
okay. All right.
It's just, is he this type? No, he's this type. No, actually, no, he's the other type. And it's just
You know, N0ne, it's funny you mentioned this because I got used to, I did this on the reads for a while. I'd be playing on the reads with Scar, and Scar would be playing, and I'd be like, Scar, this guy's a roller. He's going to roll. He's going to roll a lot. He's looking to roll. Scar, this guy's a spot dodger, blah, blah, blah. And I got used to, I would do that. I would like try to categorize the player we're fighting as I'm watching Scar play on the reads. And I'd be like, I'd try to describe it to Scar so that he could, you know, hopefully win, right? Or win more easily. And so I know exactly what you mean when you say categories. And, you know, just to go back to the question too, I like turtles. I will say just as a commentator, what I do, and I think probably a lot of people just kind of naturally do this, is like when you watch a melee set, you kind of almost put yourself in the shoes of like, especially if it's your character, I think it's really helpful to do this. If anything, if you're like just starting out, or you're trying to get good with the character, and you try to like almost watch the set, almost as if like, what would I do here, kind of thing. And then when they make the decision that you don't expect, you're like, oh, they did something I didn't expect, and then you can kind of register that and be like, oh, well, one, maybe I should be doing that. But two, when I commentate, you know, melee sets, whatever, I'm watching what they're doing, and I'll be like watching from one of the players' perspectives almost. And I think it's from there, you're just kind of naturally thinking, okay, what's he going to do next? What might he do next? Oh, that was interesting. He did something different. And this is where fun, you know, little side note, this is where the criticism a while back, I remember, and this is something I've been actually trying to work on. Leffen was saying, you know, a lot of the melee commentators are bad at commentating floaty sets. And I realized this made sense because all the commentators are fastfall players. Think about it. I play a fast faller. Scar plays a fast faller. Homemade Waffles and Phil play fast fallers. Lovage plays a fast faller. Vish plays a fast faller. Chillin' Dude has a whack ass Samus, but plays a fast faller.
I didn't notice that at all, actually. That's curious.
We're all fast fallers. We're all literally, we're all Slime. He's another commentator, plays Falcon. Squid, another commentator, plays Falco. All the commentators basically are fast fallers. So I was like, well, that makes sense. That's why we all suck at commentating floaty matches, according to Leffen. So then now when I watch a floaty match, I actually try to put myself in the floaty's shoes, even if it doesn't come naturally to me. But I swear to you, I think that's what a lot of us are doing.
Yeah, does that make sense, Turtles?
Do you do that, PP? Do you do that?
So so what I do is I will sometimes talk about what I think people might want to do, but otherwise, and then I'll think like, okay, well, are they doing this? Or are they doing it a different way? Or are they not doing this, and why? And I'll talk about that. But in terms of what actually I'll do is I'll say, okay, these are what these people are doing, and I'll take one perspective, and then I'll try and see when I think it's a good idea to switch, usually maybe after a combo or something else, and I'll say like, this is what they're kind of looking for here. Maybe this is what one person's looking for, the other person. I think some people like it when you switch, because I think if you stay in one perspective too long, there's an assumption of bias, or there's just not giving someone like enough treatment or time. And then sometimes I'll even kind of think about like what's the flow of the match like who's hot in this moment right now? Who is the person that is more plugged in at the moment? Who's the person that might need to be focused on a little bit more? And then I'll talk about it that way, or I'll say, what can this person do to kind of break that? And then sometimes, so I try to take a perspective at a time, but I also try to zoom out and talk about the overarching thing that's going on there too, as much as possible, because I think people really they like as many tie-ins as they can get, I feel. And I mean, I would like it if I were listening, what this person's been looking for, what they're getting, what they're not getting, what the other person wants, how they're stopping it, what's coming together as a result of all this, what's the pacing ending up like. So I find it very fun to bring all of that together. I find it's great because I get to because it is my own knowledge, but it's these people that really dictate how it comes out at the end of the day. And so I, try to be as flexible as I can. It's a lot of fun.
I see.
Yeah. Does that make sense, Turtles? Or do you have any follow-ups for that?
Oh no, you answered it perfectly. You gave different approaches with the social aspect, putting yourself in the player's shoes. And even the floaty's point of view was interesting. I never thought about that.
For sure, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for calling in, Turtles. I appreciate you and your accent, man. And I I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for calling in.
And wait, real quick, because I realized we should be asking you any shout outs you want to do.
Oh yeah, any shout outs?
Oh, shout outs to the French Melee, the French organization and product software for carrying the EU melee scene.
For sure. Shout outs to him.
Jigglypuff legend. And Polon Software. They're doing a lot of good stuff for you, Melee.
Yeah, they are.
Across the world at this point, honestly. Thanks for chatting, Turtles. I think we're about ready to bring on our next caller.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day or night. I don't know what time it is in France. It's probably
it is late. It is after midnight there.
after midnight. We got our next caller. What up?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I go by AfroMatt, and I'm from Tennessee.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the show. What question you got for us today?
So my question is, who is the player that you all feel underperformed the most relative to their skill level? So I mean inactive players like Cyrox, Crush, Silent Wolf, etc.
Do you mean only inactive?
Only inactive.
Only
Because
inactive.
I want to believe that anyone that's still active has the opportunity to live up to their
Okay,
That's fair. You don't know what they're going to
Sure,
do. That's
sure.
an interesting
Well,
question.
not Silent Wolf for Crush right off the bat. I think Silent Wolf for Crush had really good tournament results, especially toward the latter part of their careers.
Interesting.
Crush won that fucking N0ne. We're talking about that Twitch Invitational. Didn't Crush win that?
Yeah, he did.
He did, right? Yeah, that tournament was stacked as hell.
Yeah,
because it was like Crush, SFAT, then you got third, and then it was like Duck, maybe. I know SJ was there. I mean, it was literally like everyone in the top 20 that wasn't top 5.
that tournament gets me angry every time I remember it.
I know.
Wait,
You
what?
had it.
Because that tournament, I was waiting in what was it, winners finals. I had beaten the 2 people that beat me to get knocked out, so I was like, "What? I just beat them recently." It's just like the tournament format. Just
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So it's not Crush or Silent Wolf. It's a good question.
I mean, N0ne, do you have someone that comes to your mind? I can do an answer in the
I
meantime.
mean, he mentioned Cyrox. I think Cyrox for sure. Like Cyrox was amazing, and
Yeah.
you can see him even to this day. He's playing. He switched to Boxer. I
Yeah,
don't know
he
what
did.
switched to.
Yeah.
And the guy's great, really great guy too. So I think if he, I mean, I'm not sure what he went through, but he definitely wasn't as what's the word, active as he was before, right?
Yeah.
And if he was, I think like we could have seen some really nice stuff. I hope that after. I'm sorry.
At least not in tournament. Like it felt like he played a
Yeah.
lot. Like he streams a lot. He plays a lot of net play, but I don't know if he's entering stuff.
Yeah, but like, of course, like after like when Land comes back, hopefully he can come out more and show what he's made of, right? Because
Yeah.
everyone already knows. It's just like reassurance. You want that little reassurance, and hopefully we can see that.
Yeah, for sure. I think Cyrox is fair. I think he was getting pretty strong, and I think he was showing some good stuff. But yeah, I do think he got kind of. I don't think he showed everything he could have for sure. I agree with that. Every time I think about something like this, and I mean, there are always kind of a few people that come to mind. I guess I'll go with
your most personally biased take on this question.
Yeah, I obviously, like, I want to think back through the years, and maybe it was someone in 2005 that if only they could have gone to another MLG. I don't know, right? Like, I can't fully remember all of this on the spot. Unfortunately, it's a great question though. But every time I think about something like this, players that I think really could have done more over time, I really do often think of Kirby Kaze. It's not the only one I think of, but man, that guy was getting so good, and his understanding of the game, I think, was phenomenal. I think is phenomenal. I mean, we were coming up on Smash boards at the same time. I love the way he broke everything down. I mean, I really felt like we were both blazing a lot of theory trails on Smash boards. It was a lot of fun. Great respect for him. I really do think he could have done a lot more. He of course did get quite high up in the rankings overall. So, but I still think he could have gone quite far. Even despite saying that, just tremendous respect for the guy, and he was getting up there at one point, and then it kind of felt like there was just a large period of time where I still think he could have. I don't think his heart was the same in it, and so it's always made me a bit sad. And so I've always kind of felt that is every time I get the chance to, I always want to talk about this guy because I really do think he had a really interesting.
I'm a huge Kirby Kaze fan. I mean, I think all of us have a pretty close bond with that guy. That makes sense because you guys were Smash Bros. Buddy. Obviously, you know him from Canada.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has to do with like when I was coming up in Canada because he's local to me. I would play him all the time. Kirikaze really had a way of converting his like melee thoughts into words. He had a really nice way of explaining things, and I mean, if you can explain those things, you must think of them really nicely too. So I always respected Kirikaze for that. Really, really great player.
Absolutely.
He was he really loved and maybe even loves Melee, I think, as a game. And at least for a while, he was very set. Every time I talked to him, he was so set on breaking into that top player pantheon. I'm like when he beat Hungry Box at that one Apex, I remember how much that meant to him.
Yes.
And it really, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, he was very highly ranked. He was number 6 in the world, right behind the 5. Right behind, I think in the first set of rankings we ever put out, I believe in the 5 God era, I think it was the 5 Gods, and then Kirikaze was number 6. So can't really knock him for that. It's not like he had a bad career by any stretch of the imagination. And even when he came back, you know, he showed spurts of kind of coming back to. I remember the most recent set I watched of him. He like had a game 5 last stock, very close set with Wizrobe at one of the big houses. I think it was big house like 6 or 7, one of those. He entered one of the later big houses. Maybe it might have even been big house 8. It was one of the later big houses. He had a really close set with Wizzy, and I was like, yeah, he can totally still do it. Just seems like it's a matter of does he want to. Speaking of Sheik, the player I'm going to shout out here is Flash. Flash is a Japanese Sheik.
Great answer. Fantastic answer.
You know Flash?
Oh yeah, man. I every time I hear about him, I'm just like, oh yeah, man. That guy was that guy really could have been very good. Absolutely.
He could have. I mean, he was so good. Like I housed him for 2 weeks. He came to the U.S. What was your exposure to him, PP? I'll tell you my perspective.
I never played him, but I was watching him. And I watched him when he came to the U.S. and I would watch him go to Foundries, and I would also just watch him play in the tournaments the following weekend. And just in short periods of time, his skill was just going up and up and up and up. He was hitting stuff. He was just hitting so much more. He was thinking about so much more, covering so much more. His approach to the game, I really liked. It made sense. It was good stuff. I really think that was someone that could have gone far. Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, I think his story is so sad because literally the reason he quit was like he works at one of these shitty Japanese companies that overworks the fuck out of him.
Oh man,
I got enough time for Melee anymore. I was so sad about it. I think he also kind of lost motivation because for a long time the Japan scene, he felt like I think he was saying like he felt like they weren't getting that much better, and he was like sad because he's like, you know, I want more competition, blah blah, or something like that.
It's hard because he improved so fast.
He improved so fast. I remember when. Well, so okay, I met him when I lived in Japan in 2010. I was out there for a year. Now he's from Tokyo, and when I lived in Japan, Osaka, which is West Japan, Tokyo's East Japan, Osaka's West Japan. Osaka was the big scene. Tokyo, oddly enough, was the smaller scene in Melee, and Osaka was considered the hub for Melee in Japan. So I went. I had a 3-day vacation one week. I went to Tokyo from out, and I lived in the countryside. I went to Tokyo. Consider Tokyo and Osaka. These are like 6 hours apart, like NorCal, SoCal. Okay, so kind of similar scenes. You can make the trek, but it is a trek. And I went to Tokyo and I linked up with Gucci and Flash, and I played a session with Flash, and I was like, dude, this guy's fucking cracked. And so is Gucci.
Gucci's really good too. I forgot about him.
Really
as
good
well.
too. Yeah.
Really good as well.
And I went back to Osaka, and I was telling them, like, you guys, dude, these guys, Gucci and Flash, like, they're fucking real, and they're gonna like when they start coming to these Osaka tournaments, like, you guys better watch out, kind of thing. And everyone was like, dude, no, there's no way these Tokyo upstarts, there's no way they're going to do any damage in these West Japan tournaments. And I remember the first tournament result I saw where they came to Osaka and they won. They took first and second place. And I was like, there you go. And yeah, dude, he stayed with me for 2 weeks in like whatever 2014, I think it was for D Fox with it. And yeah, it was great. I mean, he only entered 3 tournaments. He entered 2 Foundries and 1 major, which is D Fox with it. He beat most prominent result out of those probably. Well, he got 13th at Dufox, which was pretty good. I think he tied with Mewtwo King, ironically, because Mewtwo King had a little bit of a tough run that tournament.
Yeah.
But he beat some top players. And I remember at his last tournament, the Foundry, he won it over SFAT and Silent Wolf, who were like 2 of the best Foxes at the time against Sheik, like period. So it was like, oh, that's like a really, like, I think it kind of flew under the radar because it was like a local or whatever, but like, you know, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
It's like really impressive. It's like, whoa, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like no other Sheik was winning a tournament over SFAT beat every Sheik, like every Sheik, dude. SFAT ate Sheiks for breakfast, like just breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it was like, oh, that's a remarkable tournament result. And then he just fell off the radar, and I was so sad about it because I loved his playstyle. I thought he was so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame. I think the era was just, dude, if he stuck around for just a little longer and got like a sponsor, things could have been so much different, man. So sad about it. Just a little longer. Because this was right on the cusp of like, this was still, I think, like VGBC, PP, right? And MIO and Mango. I feel like it was kind of that era still.
Maybe.
So,
I don't fully remember, but yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been nice if that could have worked out for him.
Anyway.
But yeah, that's a great answer. How do you feel about that, AfroMatt? Does that did we get everyone that you were thinking of, or is there someone you wanted to call out that we didn't get a chance to?
I think you missed only one player that I was thinking of,
Okay.
and that's Kevin Toy, Pew Pew You. I always wanted to see him be the #1 player in the world. I always thought he could do it. I always thought he had the ability, and his retirement broke my heart, although I'm super excited for everything he's doing with CLG.
Yeah,
I just really loved Pew Pew You as a player, and I personally had always hoped to live in the Pew Pew You era.
I think he might be the #1 player in the world in doubles.
In doubles,
So
yeah.
That is still.
I don't know.
Cool.
I'm not as
It's not easy. I mean, it's not easy to do what he does with Marth and doubles. I don't really get it. Honestly,
That chunk's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
But yeah, I mean, certainly a great answer for that too. I mean, it's have faith in him. I respect that, man. And I guess you never know how things will turn out. But yeah, I mean, I'd say he had a fair run. But yeah, thank you again, AfroMatt, for calling in, and thank you for your question. We do appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have any shout outs? Sorry.
I do my shout outs? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to shout out my buddy the Big Mikey _ who's actually a mod in N0ne's chat and is one of my best friends. We just got done with a LAN Melee Fest the other day, and I wanted to thank you, PPMD, for completing one of my ultimate goals in life. You were the last 5 gods I had not had a conversation with. So thank you.
I do make it difficult
for completing my Infinity Gauntlet of God conversation. And also I stream at AfroMatt SSB. I'm trying to be a Melee commentator while not being a top player. So if you want to come and listen to some Melee analysis at 8 p.m. EST, I'll be around.
All right, good luck with your journey, gamer, and thank you for calling in.
Thanks.
Good play. That's how you do it, like the best of them. I can already tell he's going to go far. That was a professional plug if I ever heard one. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. If you're an up and coming commentator, you got to be well spoken like that. All right, I think we're about ready to bring in our next caller. What is up? What's your name? Where are you calling in from, sir or madam?
Hey, it's Jabberwock out of Manhattan. This question is really for N0ne.
Okay.
And the question is basically, we've kind of seen 3 and now possibly 4 with the latest SEL Falcon's rise to the top of, top 10 essentially. And they are all like extremely different in a bunch of different ways. You have like the natural like Wizzy kind of like N0ne thing, where it's like tech chase versus combos and CC focus versus out of shield focus, and with like S2J and N0ne. And so, N0ne being, kind of the master of all the styles, as he's, I think, known now. I just wanted to hear, which do you think will become more prevalent in the meta as, Falcon progresses?
I mean, I think the right answer will always be, it's only going to get tougher. We're only getting, players are only getting smarter, right? We're going forward, not backwards. We're getting smarter, not dumber. So I think it's safe to say that we're going to have a mix of everything. It's just, we're going to have to, Falcon has the tools to do it. I think he's a very versatile character. But at least speaking for myself, we have to stop being so stubborn and start to open up to new things and new styles of play, because not every player is different, and sometimes some style works stronger versus one player than the other. So I think we're all gonna start to, you've been seeing it for sure, like we've all been starting to incorporate things from each other, and that's gonna even happen more so in the years to come, I think. I'm not sure.
Jabberwock, does
Oh,
that
sorry.
answer your question, Jabberwock?
Yeah, and I also this kind of extends to PPMD as well, in a weird way, because another thing I've seen actually just today, I saw Zain talking about how PPMD would do like immediate approaching fair versus, Sheik, and also his like longer dash dance. So I think this kind of applies to PP as well. Do you think there's like any development in the Marth meta, or like what is the right development in the Marth meta in your opinion?
Dude, wait. Before you say anything, PB,
Okay.
I know the fairs he's talking about. They're so good. I don't understand how it works when you do them. When I do those fairs against Sheik, I feel like they never work. And when I watch you play against Sheik and you do fucking approaching rising fair, and I'm like, what? Why the fuck is he not dying for doing that? And you just it's so beautiful.
It is hard to do that.
I know.
I
know. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Well, I will say, there are, so in terms of this rising fair thing, I think that's actually an interesting segue, and it kind of ties back into what N0ne said a little bit. If you condition a player a certain way, or you get a read on someone, you can kind of do whatever you want within a certain limit. So let's say someone's going to jump, or they're going to hold shield. You don't think they're going to hold down. You can be like, rising fair probably did a little bit better here. And so that kind of play is very important, I think. But you kept it character focused, so I'll do my best to stay there. So Marth is a character that I think, and I don't often like talking about the right way. I used to be a player that was very focused on that. I cared deeply about that. I would tell everyone there is the right way, there is the wrong way. I am not as interested in that now. I think there are good things to do. I think there are less helpful things to do. And then I think there are rules. And then I think once you get good enough at implementing the rules, you learn how to break them. And so but I think a good thing is doing longer dash dances sometimes. And I think the value of longer dash dances is that, you go farther, you abuse Marth's dashback made out of titanium, which is always fun. And you combine that with shorter ones, and it's very ambiguous for people to know how to lock you down. And of course, you have wave dash back jump and everything like that. I think so. Basically, making more use of Marth's tools, making more full use of them. I think that is just very important. I think there is nothing wrong with playing Marth in a very grounded fashion that's going on right now. I think missing out on some of the zoning, and Zane's been bringing in some of the zoning, which has been fantastic. I think there's more to do there with maybe some more drift stuff. And of course, he is doing some of that, but there's still more, and there's various ways it can be implemented. Because Zayn, at the end of the day, is going to be one person. He's going to have his own patterns that work well for him, and there will be some you could take, some you might want to do differently. So I think, like, if I were to just say something simple, I would just say, I think we could see more of Marth's movement accessed. I think we can see that becoming a reality. I would also probably say, like, and this is something that you see Kadoran do a little bit. And I guess it's a bit of a shameless plug. I work with him some, so I like talking about what he does. Apologies, but he'll just F smash people in neutral sometimes, which is not really something Zayn does. And I'm not. This is not a critique of Zayn. This is just a difference, and this can make things easier in some ways because you're not having to worry about getting the perfectly spaced down tilt or whatever. But anyway, I don't want to go on about this forever. The point is that there are ways you can approach it. There are things you can do that are not being done. And do I think there's a right way? Maybe not. There are more good things that can be done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you.
Thank you.
Shout outs.
I do want to shout out the upcoming Tri-State hero J-Mook and congratulate him for his 4 Loco. And I think also just all the J Cheeks in general, I think they're doing a great job out there. I saw Magi's tweet not too long ago. I thought it was hilarious. So if you know what I'm talking about.
At the front of your username, and then
Yep.
That's all it takes.
So thanks a lot, guys.
Hey, you're welcome.
Absolutely.
Take it easy, man.
Dude, I like your Kadoran, but it's funny. I was talking with Zayn the other day, and I was actually asking about Kadoran, and it was funny because Zayn actually provided the other side of that, because he was like, he was like Kadoran's really good. Like, love watching him. Loved watching his set with Plup and stuff like that. Yeah, obviously Zayn gives plenty of credit where credit's due, and he thought he was like, it was funny. He said something that I thought was kind of enlightening, which was he was like, the only thing that like I'm like, oh, I wish he would stop doing that is when I watch Kadoran. He's like, Zain is like, I think at their core there are two types of Marths. There's Marths that when push comes to shove, there's Marths that want to grab you, like if you need to clutch out a stock or something. There's Marths that want to grab, and there's Marths that want to forward smash. And I think Kadoran is a Marth that wants to forward smash.
And Zain he doesn't like that. He's like, I don't like that.
Yeah, because I think Zain, like, dude, when I talk to Zain, there's a recurring trend, which I think is very respectable with Zain. And Zain never, my read on Zain as a player is he never wants to feel like he's Hail Marying, ever.
It's funny. He was doing wave dash shadow shield forward smash against Mango for quite a while. Being said, yes.
It's true. There was a period where Kalindi, KJH, I was privy to these conversations, but I think it was largely KJH was telling him, dude, you need to do more Unga Bunga options. And you know what I mean by that. Because we used to rag on Zain, dude, you never do the Mewtwo King, run up forward smash from the other side of the screen, or dash tech across the stage. And Zain's thing is like, he feels like the way he described it, he was like, when I do that dash tech, I feel like I'm just like, please, like, I hope this hits, kind of thing. And he doesn't want to feel like that. Now, I don't think you have to look at those options that way, but I think Zain does, and for better or for worse. And for what it's worth, I mean, he's performing at a really high level.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Zain, it's at this point, it's kind of like, well, if it ain't broke, maybe just don't fix it. But I thought it was interesting because he provided that perspective on the exact thing you were talking about with Kadoran.
It'd be fun to have a discussion with him about it, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, well, that should be a collab you guys should do.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, N0ne, you wanted to say something. I saw you inhaling.
I was gonna say, well, first I was gonna say the Mango thing might be a player thing, sometimes versus a certain style or player, you just do something because it works.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was gonna say is that I think it's fair to say that Zain has very good game sense. What I mean by game sense is, usually if you see a shield, you don't attack it, you grab it. If you see a non-shield character, you attack it, and so forth, and vice versa, and all that. And he's very good at making those kind of decisions, and those decisions create openings. And I think that's one of the reasons he's very good at getting those openings, because he knows when to stand his ground. He knows to, do the Marth dashback thing. He knows when to do it. He knows when to do those fairs. His game sense is up there, and it's something that players might not be looking into. They might, people might be just, it's Marth, it's dashback, it's the range. No, but it's like, before that happens, how did he get that? And I think people don't probably realize that enough. They don't understand it enough, I think.
They oversimplify it.
Yeah. Sometimes there are things in Melee that you want to simplify for the fact of not getting a headache, and sometimes it doesn't need that much thought, but there's a science behind it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
People aren't realizing it. That one, yeah.
Yeah, and I love how complimentary you are to Zain, because I don't always hear that coming from you. It is
in public. Our DMs are something different, but in public.
All right, no beef.
But no, he's great. He has
yeah.
It's crazy, right? The respect you got to give him. He's inspiration. He's doing good really fast, and he has a long road ahead of him still. It's crazy when you think about it.
Yes.
So very impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy how at the same age you guys are both rising together. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I might be like a year older.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, it's close, but yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to assume. Yeah, sorry.
But it's like, it is impressive. You know what I mean?
It is impressive. I was thinking about long road. Okay, I don't want to take up too much time, but we got to get to our next caller. But I was thinking about long road. You guys see that top 8, the Street Fighter top 8? There was a Street Fighter top 8 where people posted the ages of all the guys that made top 8.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
One person was like almost 40. It was like Daigo 39, like Sako wasn't even, I think Sako might be like 42 or some, Sako was like, I think actually 40. Gamer B's 40, but he wasn't in this top 8. But, it's like Tokido 35. And that was on the young end. And then a couple of them were 37, and I was like, And I don't know. I think people totally, they go too hard on the whole, like, you got to be young to play video games thing. I don't know.
Bro, Grandpa Gamer's rising up.
I mean, it's the whole thing with stamina, right? But when you're younger, you have the stamina, but when you're older, you have the wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Like the two worlds of things, right? You want to find that perfect balance.
Mm-hmm. And then you got N0ne, who's the perfect balance.
I know. I was just about to say it's crazy. He's 23 and he's got all this wisdom from the 12 years of playing Melee. Truly an inspiration for us all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Somehow.
Speed racing at the age of 11.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're about ready to bring on our next caller. What's up?
For sure.
Where are you calling in from?
What's up, caller?
Yo, 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 yo.
How's it going?
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
My name is Corner. I'm calling from NorCal, and
Hey, NorCal. Our first NorCal caller.
Mm-hmm.
hey, let's go. So my question for today is, why would somebody who has never played Melee before, maybe they probably like play Ultimate or never played Smash before, why would they want to be why would they want to play Melee? I know that because Melee is a game with like a very difficult entry barrier. It doesn't have a huge list of viable characters. The stages aren't the best competitively speaking. You have like FD and Battlefield, which are like two, I would say, most neutral stages. There's just overall like Ultimate has a lot more content than Melee. So basically, what I'm asking is, what is Melee's draw? What brings people in? Yeah.
Are you comparing this to the newer Smash when you say this, or do you is this just for anyone?
Yeah, Smash Ultimate is the name of the newer Smash PP.
I didn't hear what you said, but anyway, what did you say, Corner?
I thought you were making a joke. I thought you were saying like you keep saying Smash Ultimate. Is that the newer Smash? What does that mean? I thought you were making a joke like you know what? Okay.
I don't say the name. That is the joke.
Got it.
I'm sorry. What was your question again?
Yeah, I was just asking. When you're saying what your question basically is, are you trying to say, do we convince someone that is playing a different game or a different Smash to come in, or is it just anyone like off the street? Like, who are we gearing this argument towards?
Could we answer both questions, or
I guess yeah, we'll see what everyone wants to do. That's fair.
I think okay, I have like two quick answers. I think one thing is first of all, I think Melee's got years on it. And I think Melee at this point, everyone kind of knows Melee's the game that's going to stick around. So I think a lot of people look at Melee. I think for me, and I don't even think for me, I say for me, I think Melee kind of what it represents in the kind of competitive gaming ecosystem right now is like Melee is one of the last bastions of like the last generation of really difficult, really deep, really engaging, in terms of like, depth and stuff like that. Competitive video games. And it's one of the ones that really stood the test of time because like everyone knows people still play Melee. It's like, any coincidence that like the biggest Smash game that's not the current one is always Melee? Like there's a reason for that. And I think that there are naturally going to be people that are always going to be drawn to that because there's always going to be people that are going to want to, I think you get into, it's very common. You get into the Smash franchise with Ultimate, but I think there are plenty of people that come over to Melee from Ultimate all the time. And I think that's because they're looking for something that only Melee can offer. I think that's always going to be the case. I think the fact that we've stood the test of time, there's going to be people that just want that. Also, I think that like, what Melee has to offer, I think that like with Ultimate, for example, I think there are also just real practical concerns, right? Like I think especially right now, everyone knows Melee's netcode is better. So I know for a fact I see a lot of people on Twitter, Ultimate players talking about like, damn, I just tried Slippy, like, holy crap, this feels amazing. So I mean, there's also that. But yeah, I think there are real practical reasons that people would play Melee. For me, when I got into Melee, I went to a Brawl tournament. I have a YouTube video talking about my origin story. You guys should subscribe to YouTube. And I was at a Brawl tournament and there was a Melee set in the corner and I kept watching these guys playing Melee and I was like, dude, this looks amazing. This looks really fast. And I was like, wowed by how fast they were moving and how fun it looked. It was just 4 people playing doubles because they only had one setup. And I was like, I want to play this. I am going to suck. I know I'm going to suck because it looks really hard. But I think there's always going to be a certain subset of hardcore gamer that's just really attracted to that. And they're going to want to play difficult games where you can really get good. Because like when you play good in Melee, you feel like a god. Like Melee is one of these games where when you're outplaying someone and you're way better and you're just like, oh my God, like I watched N0ne's JV5, which I can't believe you didn't pop off harder. Like, dude, I was like, dude, that had to feel so good.
To be fair, that was an accident. I didn't look at percent one time.
That makes sense. That makes sense, dude. Yeah, and I was just like, that's fucking ridiculous. Like, you can't do anything like that in Ultimate. Like, you just can't. You can't outplay someone that hard. You'll never be able to outplay someone that hard. So there's always going to be. I don't think everyone's going to want to play melee, but there's always going to be a certain subset of people that are just going to be naturally drawn to that. Like, and that's going to be forever. That's going to be forever. There's always going to be that niche group of hardcore gamers that just wants to like be super cracked and press lots of buttons and just fucking style on their opponents. And melee is here for those people.
Yeah. N0ne, do you have anything you wanna add on or your own take on that?
Yeah. I think the correct answer here is, at least comparing to Ultimate, would be that as of April 27th, the Golden Guardians family operates in melee exclusively. That would make why
Yes.
that is the correct answer.
Yes. Hey, and by the way, if you want to help gaming, all of gaming, up to the GG Melee YouTube. Like, click the button. Very easy. You can like, comment, and make sure you click the bell too, so you're always notified when new videos are live. Yes, thank you, Q. I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted to interject there for a moment, N0ne. I just wanted to make sure that people knew how to save all of gaming. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
Next question. No, being seriously, I don't know. I think the usual response. The usual response is, in melee you can express yourself. You can really be yourself. This and that. That's the story every single player says, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to give a more practical answer. I think in melee you have the ability to do all that. Cool, but if there's 40 foxes over there, they'll probably all look like robots, right? They could look like robots. You have the ability in this game to stand out of those 40 just because of the tools the game gives you. I don't think that other games give you that. And yeah, just being able to set your flare, to leave your footprint, to stand out. You're able to do that in melee. I think in comparison to other games, it's very difficult.
Yeah, dude, with Ultimate, there's for the most part. Okay, I'm not trying to rag on Ultimate. Like, I literally like Ultimate. I entered every local for like a year. But it does feel like when I watch Ultimate, like, it does feel like there's mostly one right way to play each character. I think that's a lot of modern games, actually. This is why I like, even not even just melee. Like, I remember when I would watch, like, games like Marvel, they're Guilty Gear. They're like the best video games. There's more than one way to play your character.
Yeah, and it's it's crazy because melee has history too. Melee stood the test of time. Here we are still, and it's just when that feeling. I mean, this is a bit unfair because this could be in any fighting game. That feeling when you start to get good and you start to get those results, it feels very rewarding. It feels amazing. That's probably like one of the high points of, I'm pretty sure, of any player's career. Those first results, they just feel so good. And yeah, that works even more so with a thing that melee has just stood the test of time. So I mean, is it fair to say if you got into melee today, are you too late to get into melee? I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, I think that would be my answer.
Dude, I thought it was when I started playing melee in 2009, I thought it was too late. I was like, dude, okay, I'm gonna start playing the game because it looks really fun, but well, the game's probably dead. Like, it's been out for so long. It's been out for 8 years already. Like,
right.
Most games are dead after 8 years. So I was like, in 2009, I was like, damn, this game's probably dead. But like, whatever, it looks fun. I'm gonna play it. And then, here we are. So
man, when you're in a third world country, when Brawl was out, and you guys haven't seen Real Dead. You guys have not seen Real Dead, and I still believed. You know what I mean? And you know what? Here I am. I'm glad I went through all of that. It was worth it.
That's a statement too on N0ne's belief as well. Just in case anyone missed that, that's just a much harder situation to pull through. So I mean, obviously, mad respect for that. If it's not clear, that's just remarkable. But yeah, I'll answer. Give a little bit of a different take. Let's say it's not about other fighting games. You're talking to someone on the street. You like sports? Oh no, I can't play basketball. Have you seen Steph Curry? Nah, there's no way. That guy, like, it's so hard to dribble that well and shoot that well. I couldn't spend the time practicing that. Do you think anyone says that? No, They don't say that. They're like, oh, well, yeah, I like playing and I'll play with some other people and I'll get as good as I'd like to get. And it's fun to get a little bit better and practice and dunk on some people and stuff like that. That's Melee. Melee, Melee, you have the ability to play it like a sport. You could put as much into it as you want, and Melee will give you that back. You might not like some of the things you get back. That's not the point. But anything will give you that. But yeah, I mean, I think Melee has that opportunity, and it is like a sport in that way. And so I think it has the ability to connect with people in that type of thing. And if you want to play it more casually, you can do that too. I mean, Melee's got a bunch of cool modes. Melee's got all kinds of cool things, and I'm sure there are ways to like we could probably we could probably invent modes or something that make it more fun and reduce some barrier to entry or anything if we wanted to appeal. I'm sure. I mean, everyone liked when volleyball came out that like 2 weeks that was hot, or whatever, right? But like I think Melee, like kind of like what N0ne was saying, like when you put the work in, you really feel great about getting that back. It's just like, you learn to do, like I would practice some moves in soccer when I could hit someone with some of them that felt really good. It's not exactly the same, but there's a lot of similarity and it feels really nice to be able to see that thing that you worked on really come together. So I think that is an awesome thing and it's a great draw. And I think it's something that other games have, but I think Melee has it in its own unique and powerful way.
You were playing soccer?
Played soccer from when I was a kid all the way through high school, end of high school.
God. Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's
Fun game.
Mine as a kid, when I learned when you kick the ball, you got to kick with like the side of your foot, not the front.
Yeah, don't toe it. Towing it, not the move.
Yeah, I know that now. I learned that.
Great. Your toes are not broken, so that's probably true.
Yeah.
Congrats. And Corner, did we answer your question appropriately?
Oh yeah, perfectly. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and thank you for calling in. Do you have any shout outs before we let you go?
Yeah. So again, shout out to NorCal.
Hey.
There's a local band that's Effective Denial. You can find their stuff on SoundCloud and recently YouTube. Shameless plug, Corner on Twitch. And go check out all the up and coming Melee streamers. They deserve it, and they want to be on that grind too. So
sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Shout out.
Are you a member of said band?
No, I'm not, but I am a very, very big fan.
Cool.
So
cool deal. Well, good luck to the band and to your own self on your stream, and thank you for calling in.
Good luck to all of you guys too.
Thank you. Dang, drop the mixtape.
You guys aren't catching the music here, right? There's someone with music here in the house. You guys
I can't. No, I don't hear any.
I'm good. You're good. Your mic is good enough that it's filtering it out.
Okay.
Or it's not picking it up loud enough.
All right, thanks. Just wondering.
There's I don't know if you guys have heard of, he's a NorCal local legend, Blue Fox XT. He used to be pretty active on Smash.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a real homie. I think he's a bartender now, but for a while, he's a long time standout of he's just an OG NorCal Melee dude. He used to be pretty good, in fact, but he's also in a band, and I used to go watch the shows. And I was wondering when Gordon was plugging a local NorCal band, he's a smasher. I was like, oh shit, is he gonna plug Blue Fox's band? But he didn't.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
It could still happen. There's time.
It's true. He could literally come back on the air and plug Blue Fox's band, but
but I guess we can always see what I think if we have another caller, we can see what they want to plug here.
I think we might be Dunsky's LeBrunskys with the callers for the week.
Oh, well, I just saw we had someone in waiting room, so I wasn't sure.
I think waiting room people. Okay. I actually figured out the whole schematic. I think waiting room they can just join.
Oh,
mic check is the one that we drag them into. I think.
Yeah,
what we're talking about. !Radio Melee. Make sure the Golden Gardens fan Discord, because next week we're doing this every Tuesday, same time, same spot on the dial, 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. East Coast time. And I look, I get it. You guys ask a lot of questions. We always have pages and pages of questions, and there's only so many we can get to. But I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the questions, and I see when the same people, I'm like, oh, that guy asked that question last week. I remember, and I've been marking the ones that I want to answer. So if you come back next week and I see your same question, might just try to throw you a bone next week. We're gonna get to all of you eventually. I got a little queue that's operating in my head. not Q like our producer, but like Q like.
Yeah. Very important clarification. Q can eat you whole, so that is very different.
Yes.
He's like the imposter from Among Us.
Yeah. They were basing that on him. Those 3 developers, they knew Q. He's very well connected.
Well, he's the 4th developer.
Yes, of course.
For the Among Us. He was the sus one.
Right, for sure. And let's not incur his wrath, so let's move on. And I kind of wanted to see, we ask if it's okay, N0ne, if you wouldn't mind, I've got a question or 2 here prepared for you. Do you mind if we talk a little bit more before we let you go today?
You don't have to ask for permission, man. Just shoot.
All right. We're going to shoot our shot here. Let's see. We've talked about it a few times. I think it's almost kind of come up. I don't know if it's come up every week or maybe 2 out of 3, but we've talked about how, and this kind of came up a little bit earlier at the beginning today. There are so many Falcons at the top right now. And I was kind of thinking there might have been a time right around 2010 where there were probably 4 Falcons that were maybe around some of the same spots as now, but I think it might even be different now. That might even be the overall Falcon skill pool might be a little bit higher now than it was then. And I was kind of thinking, like I talk about why I think this is happening. Toph talks about why he thinks it's happening. You live it. Why do you think there are so many strong Falcons right now? And what do you think? What do you think that says about Melee and about the community?
Why are there so many good Falcons right now?
Yeah,
it's just your top Falcons: SUJ, Wizrobe, and Gatsu right now. That's killing it, right? Those are the guys. Those are guys.
And you.
I'm a side character. I'm just a side character.
Absolutely. We need to get Bond on here and talk himself up.
But, it's just I think to the players at least before when the players before they started playing Falcon, they were just, it's the same thing coming back to styles. They were like, oh no, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna do it this other way. This Falcon's just a very versatile character. I remember all the time when people would ask me to do tier lists. I've always said that I'm not really a tier list.
I loved your tier list, by the way. I don't know. You want to explain what you did really quickly?
What did I do in that one? There was just only like 2 characters, right? That are like
you.
Bad.
You had a tier list, and there was there were 2 tiers. The first tier was it was like something like, I don't care about this, and you shouldn't care about tiers either. And it was 24 characters. And then there was a second tier under that said, okay, maybe not, maybe don't play these 2. And it was like Bowser Kirby.
Yeah, those 2. It's just like, I love those characters, but it's hard to do stuff with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the other ones are good. Just those 2, try to keep your distance.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to what we were saying, I've always thought Falcon was a very versatile character. But at the same time, when people would ask me for tier lists, I would never put Falcon on a tier list. I always thought that he just didn't belong on a tier list.
What do you mean by that?
For the reason that, I mean, when you fight a bad Falcon or even a good Falcon that's on one of his bad days, it's pretty free. Like that's just the way it works. The character just gets opened up. For some reason, I don't understand why. But when that Falcon is on a good day, a good Falcon on a good day is more damaging than a good Fox on a good day, or a good Marth even on a good day. And it's weird to think about it because it's true. And so that was the reason I thought I would never put him on a tier list, because on a good day he's like SS, and then on a bad day he's like worst of the worst. But yeah, that's just one of the things I was trying to sidetrack there. But it's just, there's a lot of representation in Falcon right now. There's a lot of inspiration, and I feel like he's a very free flow character, so people might like that a lot. There's a lot of things you can free flow with him, and there's a lot of things that you can lab with him. There's a lot of data, and you know what I mean? There's like both sides. And that's just bringing players in from everywhere to pick up the character, and that's really cool to see.
Would you say then that that Falcon always had this potential and it's just being brought out now? And if so, why now?
I think so. I think Falcon always had the potential. I mean, I think we were younger back then. We thought what people thought of us hurt more, because back then Falcon was the mean character, remember? So
Oh,
So you think it was about community perception back then? Like you got to play cool with Falcon. You can't optimize this stuff. And when everyone's optimizing, you can be like, ah, we can't do that. We're the cool character. We, we don't optimize our edge guards or whatever. We just go for it. We read them.
Yeah, and then you would there's some like at least back home, you would be cast out if you weren't doing things a certain way. Like the same thing you were talking about earlier, PP. There was a right way and a wrong way to do things. Back home was the same concept. Oh, dude, you're doing it this way, or the door's right there. Just leave right now.
Are you saying in Canada or
in Nicaragua?
Oh, so you had to play like a certain style back there then. And what was that style?
Yeah, it was like more so even just playing melee. If you were playing melee and you were just like, I mean, things are different now, you know, that we've gone pro and you know we've learned things. But back then, at least the way I learned melee is if you were a person that was just abusing too much shield grab or buffer rolling everywhere or was just on the ledge all the time, we would just straight up, and this is a real story, I'm not making this up, we would unplug your controller, open the door, yo, I got some brawl friends, I'll give you their number.
Oh snap. Oh snap.
Why? Because we always consider that, you know, like, yeah, you could do that. And, you know, like the mentality back then was you're in brands or whatever, you're making a lot of cash. Okay. But right now we're trying to get good. We're trying to get legit real good. We want to like get our skills better. And if we're abusing the lazy way, we won't get there.
Interesting.
Like, we want it to be legit about things, I guess. But like things have changed, of course.
Do you think, and this is not, and I'm segueing a little bit because I'm just really curious about how you think about things. But do you think that led to some stubbornness, like you've mentioned it some before, in your part, where you wouldn't want to go for some of those types of options, even if they would have given you an easier reward sometimes, and that's something that's been something you had to work with, or am I misunderstanding?
No, for sure. It definitely made some stubbornness on my part. But at the same time, it gave me a lot of perks as well. Because I really refined a lot of things that maybe other players don't. I try to like avoid finding the lazy way out of problems sometimes. And that helped towards my skill, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
After moving to Canada, and because I had a very like aggro game, even more aggro when I moved, but it was uneducated. Like it was very like wild, like actual wild. It was uneducated aggressiveness. And when I moved to Canada, I learned the other side, defense game. So I kind of mixed both styles from two different places and then combined into a hybrid. And that just the fact of making that style, this new style, gave me like wisdom to keep going further. You know what I mean?
That's cool, man.
Kaze right there.
Yeah.
If you play like a dumbass against Kirby Kaze, you don't come correct, he will fuck you up.
And he'll roast you.
And he'll yeah, in his little way, you know, because he's like, why are you doing all these bad options, lol, you know, kind of thing.
And I liked it because it was kind of like it reminded me of back home, because that's the way it was back home.
Right.
So in a way, it was as if I felt like I was playing the game again.
I think the only player in the whole world that might be tougher on K-Word than you are, Ed, is I don't know if you ever heard Kirby Kaze talking about his sets with K-Word, but dude, he used to go in on that guy. It was bad. It was bad.
Oh man,
I miss him. Yeah, he's the reality check master. That is true. He will reality check you. Who's K-Word? Good question.
Yeah, if only we knew. Okay, moving on. Yeah, so you know, I forgive me, N0ne, for taking a little bit of a digression there, but I'm very curious about the man, you know, behind the very cool Falcon. You know, to forgive me, but I kind of cut you off from your initial explanation about Falcon. I think, and I just want to kind of make sure that you didn't have any more to say about this. You were saying people didn't have to worry so much about perception around the time like Melee got more esports, and we didn't have to be as concerned about community perception. I mean, is that you know, do you have any other nuances you want to add to that, or any other parts of why you think the Falcon renaissance has kind of culminated now?
Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? If people think that your character is like a meme character, even if you played him, you would probably play him seriously to a point. Like you wouldn't go all full out. And I think, you know, like times have changed. People have gotten better, and people have seen like more. You know, like we're older, we're wiser. So things, the way we see things is just very different to as it was before. And I think that's the beauty of this game, right? Like the way we see Melee is always changing. It's always this nice, beautiful thing, but we always see it in a slight different way because the game is just always evolving.
Okay, so let me ask. So that's an interesting. So let me see if I can take your logic and extend it a little bit, or see what that looks like. So if we're getting older and wiser, the Falcon players are getting better. In 5 to 10 years, are the Falcons all on top?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, why not?
It's hard to be consistent with Falcon. That's why I said that I don't really put him on a tier list because of that. Because when he gets opened up, he looks like the worst character in the game. Like
he gets pretty messed up, yeah.
And he's like, it's bad. But when he's on his game, it looks better than like the top tiers on their game, at least in my opinion. It just looks very, very explosive. He just has that. He has the manpower to do that. You know what I mean? So it's like he has the best of both worlds.
Yeah. All right, man. I really, God, I have so many things I want to ask you about. I'm gonna go. I'll do one more. And then we'll.
Hey
call
man, I
it.
mean, next time you can invite me and we can talk more. It's all good.
Yeah, for sure, man. This has been a lot of fun. But yeah, let me ask you one more, and I think this will be something that I don't think I can do this interview without asking. But what's most fun about Melee to you? Because I think you're a player that looks like you have fun when you play.
What's most fun?
You can pick a few things if you want, but if you can pick out one, what do you think is like? What is the? You could say like maybe there was a time where I had the most fun, or there's something in the game when you do it, and it can be with any character or whatever. But what is most fun about Melee to you?
This is just a weird answer because for me, the funnest thing was always just like creating havoc. Like the way I say it is, I got to where I am by doing it my way. Even though people would say, "No, you can't do that. You can't. Like, you have to do this. You have to do that." My goal was just to like beat and take some names here and there, doing it my way, just creating like some chaos. I didn't have any like goal, like big, huge goals, but that was kind of the fun in it. It was like the process of getting to where we are now. I think it's like the whole thing is the journey, not the destination.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just my journey in itself has been pretty fun. And the fun part is, I guess, that Melee is just very unpredictable. When you like, at least the way I play it in a very unpredictable way. And at the same time, because it's a 2-player game, your opponent is very unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that I think would be the most fun aspect of it for me.
So
like a robot, and then like you'd probably know like who would win or lose, but that's not fun to me. I think.
Yeah.
I always want to leave my flair, my footprint. I want people to remember a match, and I mean I think it's safe to say that win or lose, people are watching me play, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, for sure, man. And so one last thing about that, does it matter if it's tournament or you're streaming unranked and you've got some chat name that they picked for you on the screen? Does any of that really matter to you? Because you're unpredictable, your opponent's unpredictable, their quit out timing is unpredictable. I mean, what does that work the same for you?
I mean, of course it's different, right? Sorry, you kind of cut off there.
The quit out timing is always predictable.
No, it's always predictable. Yeah. I mean, of course, unranked is different than like real tournament matches, right? But at least for me, I'm having a lot of fun competing and streaming at the same time. Like to this day, I have not entered a tournament off stream. All my tournaments have been on stream. So for me, the fun aspect of it has been, for now, riding that fine line between being a streamer, entertaining people, and competing. Because after all this time, I think it's fair to say that I have been entertaining through my play. That's what I try to deliver, like a really nice gameplay. I tried to, at least, and I think I'm pushing it a bit forward with my streams. But yeah, it's just overall I'm an entertainer. What can I say? It's fun for me.
That's awesome, man.
Looks fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say that every N0ne set. I mean, I played with you a couple times, and they were all very memorable matches, for sure.
Always fun playing you, Toph. And I always talk you up in my stream too. I always say you're good versus Falcon. You're a good player. You know he has priority. He's doing other stuff. But if this guy he came back and he started to be on the sticks for real,
You trying to play
watch
later this week? You trying to play later this week?
I mean, I'm available at any time.
Okay, I'll hit you up.
Always down to play.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We even got content for the streams out of it. That is wonderful. And I think that's a great note to end on for me if it's okay for you, Toph.
Absolutely. This was a really fun episode. Thanks for coming on, Ed.
Thanks for having me.
We'll get you back. I think we're gonna, I think you and Zain are gonna be pretty regular guests on the program, So
I'd love to get them both on at once, see what that's like.
Oh, well, we got to get an overlay with 4 people first.
Well, if that's all that's stopping us, I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I think that'd be a lot of fun. And thank you so much, N0ne, for coming on today. Great pleasure to have you. Great to see inside the beautiful mind, and really grateful for your time. Thank you, man.
Thank you for having me. It was had a blast on this. I definitely want to come back. We should do this more often. Now I'm. That's not salty. The word is, you want more of it? There's a word in English. I'm not sure.
Hyped.
Hyped, I guess. Yeah. And it too fast.
Get the run back.
You're excited. You're excited. You're interested. You're curious. I don't know. I'm not sure the perfect word, but something in there maybe.
Positive.
For sure, man. And Toph, you brought us in. You want to take us out with the voice changer?
This has been Radio Melee. See you again next week.
Bye.